Good morning, students. I'm back again with another topic, that is Chapter 5 from our literature textbook, My English Garden. And the topic is, or the title is, Ferdinand the Bull. So let's see what's the story all about. Now, kids, before starting with the chapter, I would like to show you some pictures. These pictures will help you to understand the chapter in a better manner, or you can say these pictures will give you the clear idea about the chapter. In this picture, you can see there's an arena where this bullfight is taking place. Now, this bullfight is mostly popular in Madrid. It's a small city in Spain. You can also see the bullfight held in arena, and there are bandoleros, picadors and matadors who are intriguing the bull to fight. They also have a sword and a cape. There's a colorful cloth attached to a stick to intrigue the bull. So that's called cape. They are intriguing the bull to fight with them. The matador is one who is sitting on the horse's back and ready to kill the bull. Now let's begin with the explanation. Ferdinand the Bull is unlike the other bull. Let's read and find out more about him. Once upon a time in Spain, I'm sure you know about Spain, right? There was a little bull and his name was Ferdinand. All the other little bulls would run and jump and butt their heads together, but not Ferdinand. He liked to sit just quietly and smell the flowers. All the other little bulls, they love to run, jump and butt their heads. Butt their heads means to dash their heads with each other. But not Ferdinand. He always sat quietly and smelled the lovely flowers. He had a favorite spot out in the pasture. Spot means place. Pasture is a grassy plot or area. So he had his favorite place in the pasture under a cork tree. Cork tree is a kind of a tree, an evergreen tree. It was his favorite tree, and he would sit in its shade all day and smell the flowers. Sometimes his mother would worry about him. She was afraid he would be lonesome all by himself. Sometimes his mother would become very tense about him. Why? Because he never played with other little bulls. He always sat under the cork tree and smelled the lovely flowers. So she was worried that he would be lonesome all by himself. He would be lonely all by himself. She would say, "Why don't you run and play with other little bulls and skip and butt your head?" But Ferdinand would shake his head. He would not agree. He would always shake his head. "I like it better here when I can sit just quietly and smell the flowers." He would tell his mother that I love to just sit quietly and smell the flowers. His mother saw that he was not lonesome, and because she was an understanding mother, even though she was a cow, she let him just sit there and be happy. Earlier, she was worried about his loneliness, right? Now, at the same time, she was an understanding mother, so she just let him sit quietly and be happy. As the years went by, Ferdinand grew and grew until he was very big and strong. After many years, Ferdinand turned into a very big and strong bull. All the other bulls had grown up with him in the same pasture, would fight each other all day. All the other bulls also grown up with him, and they would fight all day with each other. They would butt each other and stick each other with their horns. What they wanted most of all was to be picked up to fight at the bulls fight in Madrid. Now Madrid is a small city in Spain where the bullfight is held. So all these bulls, all the other bulls, they would butt each other and stick each other with their horns so that they could look very fierce, they could look very powerful, and they could look very strong. And they could be selected to fight in the bullfight. But not Ferdinand. He still preferred to sit just quietly under the cork tree and smell the flowers. Ferdinand was totally different. He never bothered to be selected. He never bothered to go for a fight. One day, 5 men came in very funny hats to pick the biggest, fastest and roughest bull to fight in the bullfights in Madrid. One day, 5 men came in very funny hats so that they came to pick the biggest, fastest and roughest bull so that the bull could fight in Madrid. All the other bulls ran around snorting and butting, leaping. Leaping again means jumping. Leaping and jumping to show off how tough they were so that the men would think that they were very strong and fierce and picked them. In order to be selected in the bullfight, the other bulls, they just ran around snorting. Snorting means making sound with their nostrils, butting each other, leaping, jumping, just to show that they were very tough and they could be selected. They were very fierce. Fierce means very angry looking. Ferdinand knew that they wouldn't pick him. He knew that nobody is going to pick him, right? So he didn't even care. He just went out to sit under his favorite oak tree. He didn't look where he was sitting, and instead of sitting on the nice cool grass in the shade, he sat on a bumblebee. He didn't even bother to be picked. So what did he do? As usual, he just went under oak tree to sit, and he just went to smell the lovely flowers. But instead of sitting on the cool grass, he sat on a bumblebee. Bumblebee is a small insect. Well, if you were a bumblebee and a bull sat on you, what would you do? Imagine if you are an insect and somebody with heavy body weight built is sitting on you. What would you do? Definitely you would sting him, right? So that's what the bumblebee did. He sting Ferdinand. And that is just what this bee did. Ferdinand jumped up with snort. Now as soon as he was stung by the bumblebee, Ferdinand jumped up with snort. He ran around puffing, snorting, butting and pawing. Pawing. Okay, let me explain you what is pawing. Pawing means scraping the ground with paw or hoof. So he just ran around puffing, snorting. Puffing means, puffing the chest. Snorting with nostrils. Butting means dashing the head. And pawing the ground as if he were crazy. He went crazy when the bumblebee stung him. The 5 men saw him and they all shouted with joy. With happiness they shouted, "Here was the largest and fiercest bull of all. Just the one for the bullfight in Madrid." So they took him away for the bullfight day in a cart. Do you think they were right? No. They just saw Ferdinand puffing, snorting, butting and pawing, right? So they thought Ferdinand was the fiercest bull among all, and that is why they selected. But the story says something else. Ferdinand was not puffing, snorting and butting to show off. In fact, he was puffing, snorting and butting just because the insect had stung him. Now on the day of the bullfight, everyone was excited to see the toughest bull. Everyone excited to see that bull or see Ferdinand. Flags were flying, bands were playing, and all the lovely ladies had flower in their hair. What a day it was. Everybody was excited to see the bull. Flags were flying in the sky, bands were playing, and all the beautiful ladies had flowers in their hair. It was a pleasant day. A bull paraded into the bull ring, and you know who that was, don't you? I'm sure you know that the bull was none other than Ferdinand. They called him Ferdinand the Fierce, and all of the bandoleros were afraid of him, and the picadors were afraid of him, and the matador was scared stiff. The bandoleros, the picadors and matador, all of them were frightened of Ferdinand. Bandoleros are the ones who fight with the bulls, okay? Picadors and matadors are the ones who intrigue the bull with a piece of cloth, that cape, okay, cape and sword. They intrigue the bull to fight. And matador is one who sits on the horse's back and attacks on the bull. He kills the bull. Ferdinand ran to the middle of the ring and everyone shouted and clapped because they thought he was going to fight fiercely and butt and snort and stick his horns around. But when he got to the middle of the ring, he saw the flowers in all the lovely ladies' hair, and he just sat down quietly and smelled. Everyone anticipated that Ferdinand would fight fiercely. He would butt, he would snort, and he would stick his horns around. But what happened? Instead of fighting, instead of butting and snorting, Ferdinand nicely smelled the flowers. He saw the flowers in the lovely lady's hair and he just sat down quietly and smelled them. He wouldn't fight and be fierce no matter what they did. He was not fierce. He didn't fight whatever they did. He just sat and smelled. The bandoleros were mad, the picadors were madder, and the matador was so mad he cried because he couldn't show up with his cape. All these people, the bandoleros, the picadors and matadors, they became very angry with the bull. Why? Because they couldn't show up with this matador couldn't show up with his cape and sword. He couldn't, show off. These people could not show off. So they had to take Ferdinand home. Finally, they decided to take Ferdinand home. And for all I know is, he is sitting there still under his favorite coke tree and smelling the flowers just quietly. He is very happy there. Finally, Ferdinand was taken back home, and again, Ferdinand sitting under coke tree smelling the lovely flowers. Now, all these textual exercises would be continued in the online class. So here, I'm not going to explain you, or I'm not going to brief you with these exercises. We would do in the online class, even the spellings, word meanings, as well as question answers. Now I'm just going to brief you about the adjectives. Now adjectives are describing words. Their duty is to describe the noun or a pronoun. Mostly these adjectives answer what kind, which one and how many. Apart from these three questions, the adjectives answer some more questions. Now I'll also brief you about the kinds of adjectives. There are various kinds of adjectives, but we would pay attention on adjective of quality. It describes the quality of a noun or pronoun. It answers what kind of noun or pronoun is. Adjectives of quantity. It talks about the quantity of a noun. It is mostly used with uncountable noun. Adjectives of number. Adjectives of number talks about the number of nouns, or number of pronouns. They are mostly used with countable nouns. We also have cardinal and ordinal number as adjectives. In fact, definite numbers like some, many, more, several, all. These words are also adjectives of numbers. They come under the category of adjectives of number. Then we have demonstrative adjectives. Adjectives which point out and talks about noun come under the category of adjectives or demonstrative adjectives. We have 4 demonstrative adjectives. Number 1, this, that. Opposite of this is that. Then we have these, and opposite of these is those. So these 4 words come under the category of demonstrative adjectives. Then we have interrogative adjectives. The WH words which are used in interrogative sentences to ask questions, these WH words also come under the category of interrogative adjectives only when they are followed by noun. After the WH words, if there is a noun, then those WH words in the interrogative sentences come under the category of interrogative adjectives. Then we have possessive adjectives. Any adjectives, any noun or pronoun that talks about the possession also come under the category of possessive adjectives only when it is followed by a noun. For example, my car is broken. Now here the word my is used as possessive adjective because it is followed by a noun, car. So there are 7 words which come under the category of possessive adjectives. They are my, your, our, their, her, his, its. All these 7 words are also possessive adjectives. For example, my car is very old. Now here my word is followed by a noun, car. So here this word my is possessive adjective. Next one, her sister is very friendly. Now here the word her is followed by a noun, sister. So this word her is also possessive adjective. Now let's come to the last one. Proper adjectives. Any adjective which is created from the proper noun is called proper adjective. For example, India is a proper noun. It's a special name of a country. So people belonging to India or things belonging to India are called Indian. So the word Indian becomes proper adjective. I repeat, any word which is created from a noun, proper noun is proper adjectives. Proper adjectives always begin with capital letter. Let's pay attention to some examples. Like China is a proper noun, and from China, proper adjective has been created as Chinese. Ireland becomes Irish, Mars becomes Martian, America becomes American. Same thing, Gujarat becomes Gujarati. Gujarat is a proper noun, it's a special name of a state, and people and things belonging to Gujarat are called Gujaratis. So the word Gujarati is proper adjective. Now let's pay attention to adjectives, degree of comparison. Adjectives have 3 degrees. They are positive degree, comparative degree, and superlative degree. Now in positive degree we have degree of equality and degree of inequality. Positive degree is mostly used to describe the noun or pronoun. It does not really compare. It does not talk about it just talk about the equality or inequality. For example, Tom is a tall boy. Now what kind of boy is Tom? Tall. So here the tall word is adjective and it comes in positive degree. Eiffel Tower is a tall man-made structure. What kind of structure? Tall man-made structure. So again the word tall is positive degree. It is just describing the Eiffel Tower or the boy. Now when we talk about degree of equality under positive degree, we use words like as, dash, as. Like the brown cat is as beautiful as the grey cat. Here brown cat and grey cat, they are both equally beautiful. That is why we have used words like as beautiful as. Now let's talk about degree of inequality. In inequality we use negative words such as not. Peter is not as fast as Paul, or Peter is not so fast as Paul. They are not same in quality. So here this word sentence, Peter is not as fast as. So the words not as fast as, they are used in degree of inequality under positive degree. Now let's move and understand about comparative degree. In comparative degree, what is the rule? The pattern is subject, then helping verb, then adjective. In adjective we add er plus than. Now there is a comparison between two. It can be comparison between two places, two animals, two things, or two people. A horse can run faster than a dog. Now there is a comparison between a horse and dog. Now you can see fast word is adjective. In adjective er has been added plus word than. So this shows comparative degree. Now some words have more than two syllables, right? So in those words, in those adjectives, we do not add er. In fact, we add word more before those adjectives. For example, this red dress is more comfortable than the white. Now here the comparison is between the red dress and the white dress. Comparison between two. But here in this adjective, we did not add er. In fact, we added word before the adjective as more. We cannot say the red dress is comfortabler than the white ones. No, it would be wrong. So any adjective which has more than one syllable, it can be two syllable or three. In those adjectives, we do not add er. In fact, we add word more before those adjectives in comparative degree. Now let's talk about superlative degree. Now in superlative degree, we compare one noun or place or thing with several other noun of its own kind, same kind. Like one noun is compared with the other nouns of its same. Like the elephant is the largest of all land animals. Here the elephant is compared with all the other land animals. Okay, now in superlative degree we mostly add article the before adjective and we add est in that adjective to compare with all. Now if the adjective has more than two syllables, so what do we do? In superlative degree we add article first, subject, helping verb, article the, and before adjective we add word most. I repeat, first we take subject, helping verb, article the, and before adjective we add the word most. We do not add est in the adjective. Here the giraffe is the tallest of all animals. Here the giraffe is compared with all the tallest animals, all the land animals who are tallest. Okay, the giraffe is the tallest among them. In this adjective we added est. But if any adjective has more than two syllables, like intelligent, Suzanne is the most intelligent girl in the class. Now here in intelligent we did not add est. In fact, before that we added word most. Here Suzanne is compared with all the other class, all the other girls of her class. So superlative degree we compare, in superlative degree we compare one noun with the rest of its class. Now here I just brief you with the degree of comparison. The textual exercises we would do in online class.